Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys and you ladies, this literally does not work. Today, I kind of took another step on the studio. I ended up building another piece of outdoor, I guess, furniture, you could say, or under the deck furniture. My wife was like, "You sure do build a whole lot of stuff out there. You sure spend a whole lot of money out there and stuff." And it's like, you know what? All of it is stuff that I need to do what I really want to do. And see, I have a vision in my mind of what I want to see done. And so it will literally bug the crap out of me until I get it done. It will be like a driving force. And it's been a couple of years. It started right here with this piece. In fact, it started with Demario Davis. Demario was doing an externship with my wife at United Way, and they would come up. He would come up for like 2 weeks in the off season, right about this time of the year, before they started out with OTAs and things, and doing work and stuff for the community. And it was a great thing. And so my wife said, "Hey, how about if I have Demario and Ainsley Battles come over for dinner?" It's like, I gotta cook dinner for them. It's kind of like, with David Wiley come. You mean I got a chef coming over? I gotta cook for. Oh lordy, puts on some added pressure. And I made some shrimp and grits. And this was before he actually signed with New Orleans. And I got him just right. He was like, "Man, that's a good stuff." I was like, "That's a good stuff." And I was fortunate enough that he came downstairs and I did an interview right inside my man cave. And he saw my really good bottle of rum. He's like, "Man, that's a nice looking rum right there." And I was like, "Oh, we can get some taste of that." So we got some rum, and then I said, "I've got some Cuban cigars." And so I'm not going to confirm nor deny if he smoked one or not. But some of us came outside and were smoking cigars, and unfortunately, back here looked like crap. It hasn't, I hadn't started building like this. And I said to myself, if I ever get that kind of an opportunity again, I want to make sure that this is special out here. And so I started getting in my mind this vision. And as my YouTube channel started growing, I started thinking that, people started beginning to do more and more live stream. This was kind of the infancy of live streams. And I thought about being able to have a fire pit. Instead of a round table, we got the fire table, and being able to sit around, watch a game, smoke some cigars, and watch football games and stuff. And that's where this all began. And what's crazy about life is sometimes you think things happen by accident, but sometimes it's almost like somebody is putting the pieces together and you just don't know that it's happening. Because by hook or by crook, things have happened in my life that have kind of pointed me towards this. The fact that COVID changed what we were doing. It was always great to have people come over, and I cooked some chicken wings. We'd be inside, and watching the game. But it was COVID that became the inspiration of doing more out here. And out here was the beginning of having that dinner at my house, and then that interview, and then coming out and smoking some cigars. It's like the pieces have been stacking up and stacking up and stacking up until finally this is where it's leading. Now, I don't know what the final plan is for all these pieces, but it's like something is growing and putting together bit by bit by bit. And that's where you feel like somebody or something is driving what you're doing. Maybe it's the Lord, I don't know. But it's crazy that I'm here doing this. This is not something I ever thought about doing. In fact, when my daughter first started talking about YouTube, I'm like, what the hell? YouTube? Now, YouTube? That ain't no kind of career. What the heck? YouTube? Shit. It's crazy. I think I'm just kind of babbling on right now. You know, this is really like deja vu. As a kid, when I wanted to do something or I needed some money for something, I'd have to go to my dad and say, Dad, can I? Whatever it was. And it was always hard for me to get up the nerve to ask. So I'd hang around and hang around and hang around, and I couldn't work up the nerve to say what was on my mind. And finally, my dad was like, what you hanging around for? What you want? Because he knew. He knew, okay, child's too damn scared to ask. And that's how I feel right about now. I want to talk about something, but I'm scared to talk about it. And I'm beating around the bush and I'm trying to talk about anything but what I want to talk about. And herein lies the problem, because when I talk about feelings that I have or things that have happened to me, sometimes people will turn against you, go at you, call you all kinds of things and say you're wrong or you're lying or you're a race baiter and you're turning things around. And that lies the problem, because see, you guys know me because you see me every day. You see me everywhere but sitting on the toilet. You feel like you know me. That's my boy Mark. You better not say nothing about Mark, because that's it. Mark's a cool dude. That's the way you see me because you know me. But that's not the way everybody sees me. I'm not the exception. I'm more of the rule. And unfortunately, people don't see you like you guys see me. Now, racism comes in all kinds of forms. Hell, there's racism between black people. Went to college, they would say, you're light, or excuse me, actually, it wasn't college. Yeah, they didn't say that. They called me high yellow or red bone. But in high school and junior high school and things, they would say you're light, bright, and damn near white. You're a wannabe. And it was a year ago that we literally saw George Floyd die. And I have to hold my tongue because I don't want to offend others or annihilate others or get the blowback from others. But I don't care if you are black, white, Hispanic, Asian, something else. You wouldn't want somebody to kneel on your dog for 9 minutes. And I don't care what anybody will say that, he might have done this or he might have done. I don't want to hear that. I don't care if the officer was black, white, whatever. That was wrong. And the verdict for that, you got to be held accountable. If you have a doctor who does an operation and he leaves a damn scalpel in you, he loses his license. He gets sued for malpractice. If a pilot crashes a plane and he's at fault and lives to tell about it, he ain't keeping his license. You want to fly with him some more? As a contractor, if I screw up somebody's house, I'm held responsible for it. I got to pay for it. Yeah, there's a state fund that will get them whole right now, but for me to get my license back, I got to pay that. And if it's really bad, I ain't getting my license back. And that's the way it should be. I'm sure I'm going to get some blowback. I'm sure I'm going to get some people that are going to unsubscribe. And I get that. I get that. And it's one of those things that unless you have been there and been treated that way, you don't understand. And I understand that. I understand that. But I know whenever I'm driving down the road, whether it's day or night, when that police car pulls up behind you, it will literally scare the shit out of you. It literally will. And I can't explain that to somebody who hasn't been in my spot. The one thing that I hope for, if you've never had to have that fear before, I pray that you never have to have it. I pray that at some point, nobody will have to have that fear. This is very, very hard for me to speak my mind without really speaking my mind. And I hope you guys understand that. I appreciate everybody. Hope you all have a great night. And I'll see you, God willing, first thing in the morning.